Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are making hot chicken. I have taken a cup of milk and a tablespoon of white vinegar to make a buttermilk, but you could buy buttermilk if that was easier. I just don't always have it, and so this is easier for me. I have 2 chicken breasts here. They're 1 pound each, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the cup of milk and vinegar mixture on top. And then I'm gonna add about 1 tablespoon of just plain hot sauce, and this could be any kind of hot sauce that you have. You could skip this step if you don't want it to be super spicy. Put the lid on and then just kind of mix it all around, and then we're gonna let that sit for about 30 minutes. Now, if you don't have time for this, if you're in a hurry or you kind of forget, this is also a step that you could skip. What the vinegar does, so what the buttermilk does and what the hot sauce does is kind of helps tenderize the meat. So you get a better end product if you give it a few minutes to sit within those juices. But really the flavor is kind of the same after. For the breading, we're gonna take 1 cup of breadcrumbs and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now I do 1 cup per pound of chicken breast. This will be what we put on the chicken before it goes in the oven. I like to go ahead and put it in this container because I wanna touch it as little as possible once I get started. So this will be our second station. For our first station, go ahead and break 1 egg and just mix the yolk up. This is gonna help the breadcrumbs stick to the chicken. You could skip this step, it just means the breadcrumbs aren't gonna stick quite as well. I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon of butter and put it in a cast iron skillet. I'm gonna put this in the oven as it preheats so that the butter will melt and cover the bottom of the skillet so that my chicken doesn't stick. You can fit about 1 pound of chicken in a 13-inch cast iron skillet. The oven is preheated. My butter has melted in the bottom of the cast iron. Remember, that was 1 tablespoon. Ready to cut the chicken. So, grabbing your chicken breast. While these marinate, by the way, leave them in the refrigerator to marinate. You don't want to leave it out on the countertop. I like to cut it horizontally first and then vertically so you get 4 pieces of chicken. Okay, now with each piece of chicken, we're gonna set up our station. And we're gonna take each piece and dip it in the egg first and then dip it into the coating. I like to do all 4 of them at a time. I might fast forward that part. And then put the lid on it so that I don't have to touch it quite as much. Put the lid on tight and then just shake it. That way they all get evenly coated, but I didn't have to touch them quite as much. So then you can pull them out and put them in the cast iron skillet. We're gonna put that in the oven for 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna get started on the hot chicken seasoning. To 4 tablespoons of melted butter, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, and then a tablespoon of paprika, and then a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Now, if you don't like it super spicy, you can do a half a tablespoon, but it doesn't get too hot and it's pretty good. Now we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And stir it well. And that is your spicy hot chicken coating. So let's check on our chicken and see how it's going. After 20 minutes on each side, a meat thermometer should read 165 degrees and you know that your chicken is done. So take it from the cast iron skillet and just coat each side with your hot chicken sauce and then put it on a plate and you're ready. And you can drizzle any leftover sauce over the top when you're finished. And finished. If you make this recipe, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss other recipes.